Money's pretty important, but are there things in life that are more important? We're going to explore that today on Limitless True Wealth TV. What's more important than money? I'm so glad that one of you asked this question because this is a video that really deserves to see the light of day. Just yesterday I was sitting in the office with a young man. He's in his mid-20s, Ricky, actually. And this video is a tribute to him. He sat down with me and he said, Kris, I want to share with you some big things that are changing my life. He recently got engaged. He's actually just getting ready to relocate and move to Seattle, Washington. And as I was sharing with him what has changed in his life this last year, he shared with me some of the wise lessons he's learned. One of the things that he said is, Kris, I woke up one day and I started looking around my apartment, my home actually, and I started realizing that there were all sorts of things in this house that I wasn't identifying with, but that I was paying for. I started looking at the car that every month demanded money of me. And I thought, wow, how many hours am I working at my job to be able to pay that? And they started looking at the nightstand. I bought that at Walmart. It serves a purpose, but I got this when I was 12 years old. Does that serve a purpose? I bought this thing. Is that actually giving me the happiness and the joy that I'm looking for in my life? And all of a sudden, he started looking at his material world in a very different means and started realizing that a lot of the things that he had bought were enslaving him to the life that he really wanted. So you know what he did about it? He started selling everything off and started reading books about minimalism, even sold his house, sold his car, and right now has a job that will allow him to work remotely, and he's upping and he's moving with very, very little. And it was interesting speaking to him because he realized that he didn't want to be enslaved to things or past choices. So he dealt with them and he put them away. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up in today's video is because I was really inspired by it. And I want to confirm that for me, what I've found in my life is that I've been able to drive really nice cars. The last 10 years, I custom built this home that I'm living in right now. I've been able to partake in a lot of privileges that life has to offer. And I'm asking, am I happier now in this house than my tiny little house that I was first married in? Actually, that house was filled with incredible memories of joy. Is the BMW i8 I'm driving now, does it make me happy? Does it make me happier than cars I've driven in the past? And the moment we assign our happiness to objects that are outside of us is a moment we're going to allow ourselves to really get into a mental bondage that can keep us from loving and appreciating life. When the reality is, as I sat down with Ricky yesterday, what I loved the most was just the gift of an hour to sit and speak with him and connect. What are the things that you want to be doing with your life where money's the reason or the excuse why you're not? Or what are the things you've told yourself where you have to have money so you can have certain things so that you can finally have less stress and be happy? The things often that we want the most, that we psych ourselves into believing we need money to get, are actually available to us right now in this moment. And we have designed a world filled with stress in pursuit of production and producing and getting and gain so that we can finally relax and take it easy and enjoy life when that's actually already available to us right now. I am a big fan. When I was in college, I had a professor that said, Kris, I don't have to stick my head in a garbage can to find out that it stunk. And I've thought about that a lot. I don't want to have to stick my head in a garbage can to find out that it stinks. And even when I started doing real estate, most of my partners were 20 years my senior. Most of them were in their 50s, 40s, had great careers, made good money, hard workers. And I'll never forget this one conversation where this very, very sincere man sat down and he said, you know, I've worked hard, I've had a great career, I've made some great money. I think I've probably done better than many people. But my kids are grown now, and I can't get that back. And the way that I want to connect with them is different as adults than when they were kids. And I could hear in his voice this regret. I have a philosophy that says no regrets. If you're linking any of your personal life achievements to money, I want to invite you to back up and pause for a moment and realize that there may be a better way. There may be a faster way. There may be a more fulfilling way. Because, you know, the reality is, not that I've ever seen, I don't think there's a U-Haul that goes to heaven or hell. But I will tell you that I went to the Valley of the Dead in Egypt. I got to see King Tut's tomb. And back 100 years ago when they were excavating, there were the men that actually discovered and opened up Tut's tomb. They actually ended up passing away later, shortly later, because of all the gases from the food that was left on the inside for King Tut in the afterlife that ended up getting in their lungs and killing the men that opened that tomb. I mean, the Egyptians thought that they could bring their food with them, their wives with them, their gold and their materialisms. And the reality is, those things are still here today. If I had to bet, goals that you have this year and the things that you want are not about having those things. It's about producing a feeling when you have those things. And what I want to share today is that the feelings that you're really after, you don't need the things to have them. They're available to you now. It's all about becoming present. And an exercise that I want to invite you to do every day is to wake up, and as you take a deep breath in, before your mind wants to think about where am I going today, and I got to get dressed, and I got to eat food, and I got to get in my car, and I got to do all these things, take a moment to be present and to just stop and ask this one question: what will create happiness for me today? And if you ask that question, you might be surprised that the thing that will bring you happiness has nothing to do with getting gain, but it has everything to do with a simple choice: how to use your time, either alone or likely with another human being, that in the end will be far more meaningful than any amount of money you could ever achieve. You know, it's this adage that money doesn't buy happiness, and that's true. Happiness is a choice, and the things that you really want in life, we can learn that lesson right now, you and I. We can learn to build our life upon creating experiences and having feelings and doing the things that produce real fulfillment that actually do not require us to have more money. So in the end, does money buy happiness? Well, it's your life, it's your choice, it's your opinion. But the truth that I found is that happiness is a choice now, and that's a choice I'm going to make right now, and it's the one I invite you to make. The real wealth that you desire is already around you right now. And the sooner you realize it and the sooner you tap into it, the easier it is to take that inside wealth that you're feeling from choices you're making and learn how to bring that outside of you into the outside world. We all have a purpose, we all have a passion, we all have dreams, and that does require money. So get yourself right on the inside, and then learn from here by being a subscriber to this channel how you get your life right on the outside with the choices that you make, so you can have the inner peace, and then you can have an outside world that is a beautiful expression of your dreams, your purpose, your passion, so that you can manifest that masterpiece life.